And in this episode we're taking a look at the Pierce Brosnan version of The Thomas Crown Affair. Last week I covered Alfie, both the 1966 version starring Michael Caine and the 2004 version starring Jude Law. A deeply inferior remake in my opinion. However, in my humble opinion this time, I think The Thomas Crown Affair is much better than the original version. Sorry, Steve. Pierce Brosnan once again wearing fine Italian suits, but a different tailor from the ones in his James Bond movies. And we'll take a little look at that later. Hi, I'm Michael. Welcome to my channel for the love of suits. If you're new here, we find inspiration on how to dress well from the best dressed men on the screen. Drop a new video every Thursday and shorts throughout the week. Steve McQueen might be the king of cool, but the way he wore his suits in that movie, they were not the best fit. And as we've seen from Pierce Brosnan, he always looks amazing in a suit. He's an extremely elegant man. So, if you ever wanted to have your suits featured in a movie, Pierce Brosnan was the man to wear them. So let's take a look at this first fabulous example of a three-piece suit he is wearing. It's a three-piece suit with notch lapels made from a shark skin fabric. That is a grey with a bit of a threaded texture running through it. Also very popular with James Bond, right from Sean Connery through to Daniel Craig. He's wearing a classic white dress shirt with it from Turnbull and Asser, very famous producer of shirts in the UK, suppliers of shirts for many movies, of course including James Bond. Knotted around that he has a silver striped tie with a honeycomb pattern in between, and a silver pocket square. Although, important to note, the silver pocket square is not the exact same fabric as the tie. That's very important. It's excusable that they're both silver because, of course, he's wearing a grey suit and everything matches nicely. Thomas Crown is, of course, ostensibly a billionaire businessman. All of his suits were made by Milanese tailor Gianni Campagna. You may be familiar with the term Milanese. It often refers to a hand-stitched buttonhole on suits. Of course, it just means it's from Milan, and Milan is in northern Italy. So the northern Italian style is a bit different from the Neapolitan style. It still has very fine elements of the way it drapes in the waist, but you will notice more structured shoulders in Italian suits from the north, such as Rome and Milan, which obviously has something to do with the local temperature. And also to reflect his billionaire status, the suits were made from Super 150s. About 10 years ago, I remember Super numbers being extremely popular. I even bought one or two myself. The number refers to the fineness of the thread. Finer threads mean more threads per square inch, which in turn meant a lighter fabric, but still able to protect you from the elements. But if you're interested in super number fabrics, there's a couple of things worth noting. Number one, the numbers don't really mean much at all. A Super 100 from a very good manufacturer could be better quality than a Super 150 from a poor quality manufacturer. There's no governing body to count them and decide exactly what they mean. So if you're buying a super fabric, as I like to call them, do not worry if it's a 100 or a 150, there may be very little or no difference whatsoever. The second thing to note is, while it does make for a very fine, beautiful cloth, it is also a slightly more delicate cloth, and you will wear through the fabric more easily than a normal weight fabric. As we notice Thomas Crown walking towards the gallery, we can see how elegant he looks as he moves. There's a very important aspect of any suit is how it hangs or drapes while you're moving. A high quality suit will make you look very fine indeed, and will give you lots of confidence. This is a classic fitting suit. It's a full-length jacket, as you can see, but also he's wearing very full trousers. This means quite a wide leg in the trousers. It's not to my personal taste, but it's not baggy and it still fits well. And of course, double vents at the back, absolutely essential for a suit jacket in my opinion, except for certain circumstances. And although probably done for sponsorship reasons, we have a very nice close-up of his watch. A very suitable watch for Thomas Crown, the rather famous JLC Reverso. It's a striking rectangular dress watch, but can be worn in almost any circumstances. It's called Reverso because the watch can be flipped over in place. And on the other side, you can either have a personalized engraving or another watch face. And like most of these luxury watches, it actually comes in a very wide range of prices, from expensive to very expensive. However, don't panic. If you fancy one of these beautiful rectangular watches on your wrist, you can get one at a reasonable price. I used to own one from the manufacturer Tissot. It's an old Swiss watchmaker, which sits at the bottom of the luxury brand watches. This is a good thing. They make extremely good watches, very well designed, excellent technology, and their mechanical watches have up to 80 hours of reserve. Their prices start at a few €100. Most of their watches are below €1,000. They are excellent quality watches and you're not paying any brand tax. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Or if you're feeling generous, become a member. And check out our comment section. We have a great community there. And while I love a good custom fitting scene in a movie, this one is all too brief. But it throws on top a very nice camel colored overcoat. At this point you may be wondering, what is happening with my ties? Today I'm sporting a range of ties from Louis Copeland & Son because in next week's episode, which will be a James Bond review, there is a contest to win a free tie from Louis Copeland & Sons. 100% Italian silk or a silk blend. The winner of the competition will get a free tie worth €100 or more. And although these are beautiful ties, you won't have to choose one of these. The winner will be able to go on the Louis Copeland website and choose whichever Louis Copeland tie he likes, and they ship worldwide, so it's open to everybody on the channel. Details of the contest will be in next week's episode. This next suit is another obvious Super 150. In fact, the fabric is so fine, watching the movie you may not even be able to tell that it's actually a herringbone pattern. Herringbone weave is a classic businessman's weave, but I love it for any suiting at all. So named herringbone after the shape of the fishbone. At a distance it just gives the impression of vertical stripes. Only close up can you see the pattern. I find a herringbone very classic and very appealing, not just for businessmen, but for any suit for anybody. It's a dark blue, two-piece, Super 150 herringbone fabric. Though two-piece, this suit has peak lapels. This I kind of expected from Thomas Crown. I really thought his first grey suit would have been peak lapels as well, but it was notch lapels. Personally, I'm a fan of notch lapels, a little bit more understated, but I think somebody like Thomas Crown would definitely be able to pull off peak lapels. He has on a deep blue shirt with it, again from Turnbull and Nasser, and a nice silver tie. And another fabulous suit, this time a charcoal grey suit, two-piece with peak lapels. For some reason, Thomas Crown saves the peak lapels for the two pieces and the notch lapels for the three-piece suits. Perhaps he thinks a vest and a peak lapel is a little over the top. And he's wearing a blue shirt again with a dark red tie. I do approve of dark red ties and not bright red ties for general menswear. Looking at this movie, you can actually just tell the fine quality of the fabric. So there is a lot to be said for Super 100s. And it's a quick look at a black tie event in the Thomas Crown affair, and how very Bond of him to be wearing a tux without a tie. If you've seen some of my Bond reviews before, you will see me mentioning quite a few scenes where Bond always seems to lose the tie at some stage during the black tie event. And more importantly, pulls it off. Another very brief scene, I can't help noticing those suitcases full of clothes, men's clothes on the bed, not the girls, and the amount of shirts he's carrying in one hand. I wish I could travel like this. Unfortunately, I usually travel quite light, usually just with a couple of suits and a few shirts. Thank you very much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel greatly. And tune in again next week to find out all the details of that competition to win a free 100% silk tie from Louis Copeland & Sons, value of €100 and shipping anywhere in the world. So see you again next week.